This is Kennedy Launch Control at T-minus 60 minutes and counting. T-minus 60, 1 hour away from the Apollo 14 liftoff. All aspects of the countdown still proceeding very satisfactorily at this time, and in fact a number of events with some 10 or 15 minutes ahead of the assigned work in the countdown manuals. Because of this, the Apollo access arm, swing arm number 9, will probably come back about 10 minutes earlier than it usually would in the countdown. By coming back early, it will be moving in about 7 or 8 minutes from this point. It's moved 12 degrees from the spacecraft. That's about 6 feet, and remains in that standby position until the 5-minute mark in the count when it's fully retracted. A short while ago, astronaut Alan Shepard was told by the spacecraft test conductor Skip Chauvin that things were going very well and that we were ahead on the count. Alan at that point said, thanked him for the information and said, "How's the weather out there?" The reply came back that there is some cover, but it looks pretty fair. Actually, the clouds we have in the area at the present time have a base of about 3,000 feet and extend up to 8,000 feet, with some getting as high as 12,000 feet. This does not appear to be any constraint to a launch attempt as far as the cloud cover is concerned at this time. That's our status. The countdown's still running smoothly. We're go on Apollo 14, T-minus 58 minutes, 33 seconds and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control, T-minus 55 minutes and counting. T-minus 55 and counting, all still proceeding very satisfactorily with Apollo 14. We've just completed some telemetry checks of the launch vehicle as the countdown continues. The astronaut crew has been advised that the swing arm, the Apollo access arm, swing arm number 9, will be coming back in about 1 minute and 40 seconds from this time. It will remain in a standby position about 6 feet from the spacecraft until we reach the 5-minute mark in the count, when it will be fully retracted. The pad leader and the closeout crew have departed from the 320-foot level and are now at the roadblock position standing by. For an update on network operations concerned with the mission, we now switch to Mission Control in Houston.
This is Apollo Control Houston at minus 54 minutes and counting. The worldwide manned spaceflight network is prepared for launch at this time. Only one problem has emerged, this very minor problem. At Carnarvon, C-band coverage is red because of a computer problem. However, this gives no constraint to launch because of the unified S-band coverage in that area. Weather conditions along the ground track across the Atlantic are expected to be satisfactory, as has been reported, with one area of high winds and seas midway between Florida and Bermuda. In the area, we expect southwesterly winds of some 25 to 30 knots and seas of 8 to 12 feet. Here in Mission Control, except for a few more people than we see in simulations, it's much the same. A quiet calmness best describes the mood of the control center as the Houston Flight Control team monitors the final countdown now in progress. However, in less than an hour, the atmosphere here will change when the control of the flight switches to Houston. Our flight director today, Pete Frank, will be calling for rapid status reports from each member of his team throughout the booster-powered phase of flight. Over what is known as the flight director's loop, we expect to hear a great deal from a gentleman named Dave Reed, our flight dynamics officer, and Frank Van Rensselaer, the booster systems engineer, since they will be monitoring the crucial trajectory and launch vehicle data. We're at minus 52 minutes, and this is Apollo Control Houston.
This is Kennedy Launch Control. We're now 52 minutes, 13 seconds and counting. And as the astronauts were alerted, it did occur. The Apollo access arm now has been retracted and is in the standby position. As soon as the arm is retracted, the pyrotechnic systems within the spacecraft are armed. This means now that 155-pound thrust escape tower that is atop of the spacecraft can be deployed in a critical emergency, if necessary, from this point down in the countdown. 51 minutes, 42 seconds and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control, T-minus 45 minutes and counting, T-minus 45, still go with Apollo 14 in the countdown at this time. Just a matter of a few minutes ago, astronaut Stu Roosa wound up pressurizing the reaction control system of the service module on the spacecraft. These are the big 100-pound thrust engines, which are in quadrants, 4 quadrants around the side of the service module, which are used for certain types of spacecraft maneuvers on the trajectory to and from the moon. Stu Roosa read off the various pressures involved in the different quadrants, and they were recorded by the spacecraft test conductor. Coming up in a matter of a few minutes will be one of the final major checks of the Range Safety Command Destruct system aboard the vehicle. These are the destruct packages in each of the stages, which would be initiated in the event the vehicle veered violently off trajectory and could be a danger to anyone or anything below. Of course, before destruct action would ever occur, the escape tower first would be triggered on the spacecraft to successfully separate the astronauts from the vehicle in trouble. 43 minutes, 43 seconds and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control, T-minus 40 minutes and counting, T-minus 40. We are proceeding satisfactorily with Apollo 14. Just as this announcement began, we began a key test here in the firing room, a power transfer test in which we switched from the external power on the vehicle to the batteries in each of the 3 stages and the instrument unit of the Saturn V. This test is in progress at this time. After we are assured that all batteries are operating satisfactorily, we will return to external power in order to preserve the power of those batteries for the actual powered phase of flight. We actually will return to internal power at 50 seconds in the countdown. The astronauts standing by in the spacecraft at the 320-foot level at Launch Pad A, they're about 10 minutes ahead in their work, and they have finished up the pressurization of the reaction control system of the Apollo spacecraft. 39 minutes and counting. We'll go with Apollo 14 at this time. We will take a close look at our cloud conditions at about the 10-minute mark in the count to determine our status. Now 38 minutes, 45 seconds and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control, T-minus 35 minutes and counting, T-minus 35, all going well with Apollo 14. Astronauts just been advised by spacecraft test conductor Skip Chauvin that we've just passed the 35-minute mark, and a clip Roger came back in reply. The countdown is still going well. We're keeping a close look at our cloud cover, and we'll proceed to count down to the 10-minute mark take a close look there, and if it appears that we will be clear, we will continue our countdown down through liftoff. We have completed our power transfer test, and all is still going well with the count. 34 minutes, 21 seconds and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control, T-minus 30 minutes and counting. T-minus 30, all elements of the Apollo 14 countdown still go at this time. At this point in the count, the Apollo 14 lunar module, named Antares, is now going on internal power. There are 2 batteries in the ascent stage and 4 batteries on the descent stage of the lunar module for Apollo 14. The lunar module will remain internal for some 20 minutes until the 10-minute mark in the count as we take a final look at the lunar module systems before we're ready to commit to fly. The LEM then again will be powered down at the 10-minute mark in the countdown. Still well ahead on a number of functions, the astronauts standing by in the spacecraft, all still going well. T-minus 29 minutes, 10 seconds and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control, T-minus 25 minutes and counting, T-minus 25. All is still go with the Apollo 14 count. We are keeping a close look on the clouds in the KSC area, particularly here at Complex 39 at this time. These clouds are ranging from 3,000 to 8,000 feet at the present time. We'll take a close look at the 10-minute mark to determine our posture to continue the count. We're still aiming at this time toward our planned T0 and liftoff at 3:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In progress here in Firing Room 2, the crew is monitoring some automatic telemetry calibrations of the Saturn V launch vehicle. This is to assure that we are properly calibrated to receive the in-flight information during the powered phase of the mission. 24 minutes, 11 seconds and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control, T-minus 23 minutes and counting, T-minus 23. We are go with Apollo 14 at this time. Just a matter of seconds ago, the spacecraft commander, Alan Shepard, was advised of the status of the count at 24-minute mark. Shepard reported back, he said it's rather quiet out there, and he was informed it's quiet because things are going so well. He was referring to the communications circuit he's on. He said, I'm glad to hear that. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control at T-minus 20 minutes and counting. T-minus 20, still go with Apollo 14 at this time. The Vice President of the United States, Spiro Agnew, and their Royal Highnesses, the Prince and Princess of Spain, have arrived at the viewing site at this time. Meanwhile, here in the firing room, we're continuing to monitor the status of all those propellants, more than 1 million gallons of propellants aboard the Saturn V launch vehicle. The reports keep coming back that all is still going well. The astronauts standing by in the spacecraft at this point, we're keeping a close eye on the clouds overhead, and we'll take a hard look at our situation at the 10-minute mark in the count to determine our progress from then on down. T-minus 19 minutes, 16 seconds and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control, T-minus 15 minutes and counting. T-minus 15. We are still go with our countdown, taking a close look at cloud conditions, and we'll take a close look at the 10-minute mark in the count. Starting at this point, the astronaut crew is going to be quite busy in the spacecraft as the Apollo 14 spacecraft goes on full internal power. This is the full internal power of the fuel cells. Up to this time in the countdown, we've been sharing the load, so to speak, with an external power source along with the fuel cells. As we go on internal power, the lunar module pilot, Ed Mitchell, will give readouts to the spacecraft test conductor on how the power situation looks. Spacecraft Commander Alan Shepard will also give some final readouts on the stabilization and control system of the Apollo spacecraft. Both Shepard and Stu Russo will arm the rotational hand controllers that are on their armrests in the cabin. We'll take a close look at the clouds at the 10-minute mark in the count to determine our posture for proceeding with the countdown. 13 minutes, 55 seconds and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control, T-minus 10 minutes and counting, T-minus 10. We are proceeding at this time. However, the weather conditions, the clouds in the area being evaluated at this point. If a hold is required, it could occur about 2 minutes from this time. We'll stand by for further reports. In the meantime, the Apollo 14 flight crew have completed some checks on what's called the Astrolaunch circuit. This is a special radio frequency circuit used by the spacecraft communicator, the launch operations manager, and the spacecraft test conductor to advise the astronauts of abort conditions. This is Kennedy Launch Control. We are now advised that we will hold for weather. We will hold the countdown at the 8-minute mark in the count. We're now at 9 minutes, 10 seconds and counting. To repeat, we will hold the countdown at the 8-minute mark because of cloud conditions in the launch facility area. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control. We're standing by. We're coming up on the 8-minute mark at this point. Mark, we are holding. The clock shows 8 minutes and 2 seconds in the count. We are holding at this time. The reason for the hold is cloud conditions in the area. It appeared that one bad cloud patch could be over the launch pad at the planned time of 23 minutes past the hour. We are standing by at this time at 8 minutes and 2 seconds and holding. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control. We remain in our hold on the Apollo 14 countdown. The clock reading minus 8 minutes and 2 seconds and holding. The reason, cloud conditions in the area. We have had an aircraft aloft in the area during the full progress of the final countdown, and we were advised at the 10-minute mark in the count that it appeared that one particular cloud cell coming across the Indian River, that is coming west over the launch pad area, appeared to have rain in it and some potential, and it was reaching up to altitudes of some 15,000 feet. As a result, the launch director, Walt Kaprian, determined that we should hold. We're going to remain in this posture at approximately the 8-minute mark to try to be no more than some 10 minutes away from a launch attempt, as long as this is possible. We are going to be advised by the flying aircraft of conditions and hopefully be able to get a forecast that things will look better in 15-minute increments. That is, when we get a go from the aircraft, we would be able to launch some 15 minutes later. So we do not have a firm estimate at this time. However, the aircraft commander has advised that he feels he will be able to give us one in a short while. That is our situation, standing by at 8 minutes and 2 seconds and holding. The Apollo 14 crew has been advised. They're also standing by in the spacecraft. It is possible we may get some rain in the area shortly from this same cloud cell that we were concerned about for the launch attempt. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control. We remain in our hold at T-minus 8 minutes and 2 seconds and holding because of cloud conditions in the area. We can remain in this posture at the 8-minute mark for approximately 1 hour. If we had to remain in the hold longer, we would have to recycle to an earlier mark in the countdown. But we can remain here at the 8-minute mark for approximately 1 hour from the time the count was held. Our situation as far as the clouds are concerned, from the latest advice from the aircraft, is at its earliest, these cloud conditions might be able to pass through this area in about 15 minutes. If at the end of that time the aircraft could give us a good forecast that we would be fairly clear for 20 minutes beyond that time, it's very possible the countdown could be resumed. However, we expect to be in this position at the present time for at least 15 or 20 minutes. We remain at T-minus 8 minutes, 2 seconds, and holding. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control. We remain in our hold at T-minus 8 minutes and 2 seconds by the clock. The launch vehicle test conductor, Gene Sestile, has just advised all the support elements for the 3 stages and instrument unit of the Saturn V that the best estimate at this time is this hold will continue for another 15 minutes. He also pointed out to his test conductors for the various stages that they should be ready when they are alerted to be able to pick up the count at the 8-minute mark. That is our status. We're awaiting further word from the aircraft that's surveying the clouds from the top, and we remain at T-minus 8 minutes. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control. We remain in our hold at the 8-minute and 2-second mark on the Apollo 14 countdown. The National Weather Service's aircraft in the area now advises that this cloud buildup we have should continue through the area for another 15 to 30 minutes. However, he reports that presently just northwest of the Kennedy Space Center and northwest of the city of Titusville, the area does appear to be clearer, and he indicates that there would be a good possibility to resume the count some 30 minutes or so from this time. We'll be standing by for further reports as we await continuing reports from the weather plane. The clouds here extend up to about 18,000 feet, and we are getting some rain in the Complex 39 area at this time. 8 minutes and 2 seconds and holding on the clock for Apollo 14. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control. We remain in our hold at T-minus 8 minutes and 2 seconds on the clock. The Apollo 14 flight crew, astronauts Alan Shepard, Stu Russa, and Ed Mitchell, have been advised of our situation, and they acknowledge the information, and they've basically been resting back in the spacecraft. We have not heard any reports from them lately. However, the spacecraft test conductor, Skip Chauvin, is keeping them updated on the weather information. They have been told, as we have been told here in the firing room, that the conditions could possibly improve in some 20 to 30 minutes, and the area there does appear to be a clear area behind this present large cloud cell that is passing over Complex 39 at this time. That's our status. We remain in a hold 8 minutes and 2 seconds. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control, remaining in the hold, T-minus 8 minutes and 2 seconds at this time on Apollo 14. We're standing by for further advisories from the National Weather Service's aircraft, which is surveying the cloud conditions in the area. Just a matter of a minute or two ago, the Director of Flight Crew Operations, Deke Slayton, called in to Al Shepard in the spacecraft and mentioned to Al that at least it's more comfortable up there than it was in the old days. Al reported back, "Oh my, yes." He also added to Deke that we're in good shape up here. We're standing by for further reports, holding 8 minutes and 2 seconds. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control, still in the hold, T-minus 8 minutes and 2 seconds in our Apollo 14 countdown.